What is up, guys? This is Ride to Pine. Today I have my beloved friend Brady Ralsted out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, but is visiting me in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. How's it going, Brady?
It's good. Good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to be talking a lot of different topics that are happening in the NFL recently, starting with Dak Prescott, your friend.
My favorite player to talk about right now. And guys, he's done it again. Whether or not you've heard about it, we'll give you a quick rundown here. Dak Prescott, whether it was today or yesterday, got offered another contract by the Cowboys. A 5-year, $175 million contract, which equals about $35 million a year, was declined. It's said that he wants apparently a 4-year contract possibly, and also needs $45 million in the last year of his contract.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, yeah, I do. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, this is smart on Dak's part. I don't want to go too deep into this. We can spend a whole episode on this, but this is smart on Dak's part in the fact that waiting this long to get a contract, because now if they want him, they're gonna have to overpay for him. But coming up here, he's gonna have to take the money, or they're just not gonna go with him.
And then this is my question for you: are the Cowboys almost sending a message here saying that if you do not take this, we're going with Dalton?
I don't see the message being sent yet. The fact they still
could they send that though?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if they send one more contract out and he doesn't take it, I see he's gone. I mean, they sent another one out with more money into it, showing that they still want him. Their goal isn't just to get rid of him.
I mean, that contract still makes him the highest paid quarterback in the league.
I mean, I think it's stupid on his part not to take the money. You waited this long. I guarantee his worth has gone through the roof. If they were to sign him beginning of the year last year, he might be worth maybe $100 million a year, or for 5 years, maybe even sub that. But the fact that they're offering $175 right now is insane. Yeah. So, I mean, good business part on his part. Terrible on the Cowboys. Jerry Jones, what were you thinking? But now you're in a hole, so you're gonna go with the Red Rocket Magic guy or Dak Prescott.
Yeah, for sure. We've touched a little on the subject in the past podcast, but we both agree that Dak is good, but has not reached
elite status.
Elite status, correct.
Now, I don't want to talk about Dak all day. We could do this forever. Yeah. What I do want to talk about is another elite player, or was elite, Marshawn Lynch, right? Came in week 17 of the Seahawks last year. Came in for Rashad Perry and who else did he come for? Who's the other running back?
Chris Carson.
Chris Carson. Yeah, he came in for those two guys. Week 17 because they were both hurt, season-ending injuries. So he finished out the year for them. But now the Seahawks have gone inside Carlos Hyde. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, for sure. This is the next subject that we're kind of moving into. Carlos Hyde signing with the Seattle Seahawks. They have not released how much he's gotten paid. All they've released is the 1 year.
Yep.
This is an amazing move on Seattle's part because Rashad Perry and Chris Carson are both coming off really horrific injuries that really caused Seattle's running game to just not perform as well as they would have liked and did throughout the season. And Chris Hyde turns 30 this year, and last season had the best year of his career.
Yep.
He had the best year as regard of yards, 1,070 rushing yards, on only 245 carries, and he played all 16 games.
Yep.
So that's huge.
That's huge, being able to play into the whole season. So I think in terms of Seattle's part, taking him, Marshawn Lynch, you never know if he's going to come back or not. Depends if he gets enough Skittles. Chris Carson and Rashad Perry, I mean, you don't know if they're coming. They're going to come back eventually. You just don't know how quick. And the fact that they're going to make this move to sign Carlos Hyde is showing them to take it easy on those two. You can't rush two guys that had season-ending injuries and had to get surgery over the offseason. They're not going to rush those guys back in. So smart move in the Seahawks for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And you don't know what those injuries, if they're going to be something that is going to really detriment their careers. Both of them were actually I liked both of them.
Yeah.
I thought they both brought a good value to the Seattle Seahawks running game.
Yep.
as well as the passing game.
for sure.
But yeah, so I think Hyde's a great pick for Seattle.
It's a good pickup for what they need. They need another powerhouse guy. Carlos Hyde is a guy that's
reliable.
They need a guy that can get the ball 20, 30 times a game and consistently get the yards they need. And they have Russell Wilson, who we've debated overall where he sits in the quarterback rankings. If you've not seen that video, I would suggest checking that one out.
Yep, for sure.
But Russell Wilson is an absolute amazing quarterback. So, I mean, you try to get a guy that can be reliable next to him, they can count on having him. I mean, that's another thing of being a quarterback. Having a running back you can trust next to you who's there all year. Marshawn Lynch came in week 17. Sure, Russell's known him forever, but they're talking different lingo going on there. If you can get Carlos Hyde for the whole year and just build that trust, I feel there's more potential. Deep season run, but
for sure. And moving into our next topic, Joe Flacco signing with the Jets, a 1 year, $1.5 million up to 4.5 with incentives.
Yep. So Joe Flacco got this 1 year deal after spending the season in Denver, where he started out 2-6 as a starter before being replaced by Drew Lock. So it's been a rough couple of years for Joe for sure. I think he's slowly transitioned out of that. Not slowly. It's been very quick since 2019 when he got replaced by Lamar Jackson. He's become a backup quarterback at this point, which happens with age. Ben Roethlisberger is he's one of those guys teetering on the edge. Having that injury, you don't know what he's going to come back to. But Joe, this is a good pickup for the Jets and for Joe. I mean, Joe is going. The GM right now for the Jets was the guy who scouted him in 2008.
Oh, really?
As when he came to the league as a first-round pick, the Ravens scout is now the Jets GM. So that's not saying there's coincidence. I mean, there could be coincidence, but I think it'd be just nice for Joe if whether he finishes his career here or not. I mean, it's a 1 year deal. Who knows when he pulls the plug? But I mean, if anything, this is going to give Sam Darnold a guy to teach him. Whether or not that's good.
Yeah.
Joe,
Flacco has experience.
Yeah.
Super Bowl winner.
Yeah.
He's played in a lot of playoff games throughout his career. Darnold's never going to be a guy, in my opinion, that's going to take over a game. The only way Darnold and the Jets thrive in today's society in the NFL is if their defense is elite.
Yep.
Well, Flacco's always had a great defense that he's been able to rely on, a good running back.
Always.
But yes, I agree with you that Flacco is definitely going to be a teacher for Darnold.
Yeah.
Darnold is still very young.
Mm-hmm.
What is it, the second year?
Yep. So I think it's the second year. He came last year was a bit rough for him, in fact of he had some illnesses dealing with.
Yep.
So hopefully he comes back this year healthy. Or not. I hate saying hopefully. I'm a Patriot fan, but as a sports fan, I hope he comes back healthy and ready to go. You hate seeing guys suffer from injury because that's just an opportunity they can't compete out there. But I mean, and we're not saying Joe Flacco has this backup spot either, but the time he is there, he can definitely use that time to teach him. He's got to compete for the backup spot with David Fales and Mike White, who Mike White gets picked up from Florida International as a third-round pick this year. So whether or not that means anything, and the fact that they just signed Flacco, so maybe that means they don't have faith in the backup spot right now.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it'll be good for all parties.
Yeah, really. If Flacco ever does get his name called and he performs, it can be a little bit of, like I've said in the past with Cam Newton as well as Andy Dalton, their time to shine and show the other teams that he's still worthy of being a starting quarterback in
for sure
today's
NFL. That's the thing. You never know when your name's be called again. I mean, Andy Dalton could be pulling out a Super Bowl win for the Cowboys, or who knows what's going to happen. But let's move into the next topic here. Consider about guys whose name may never shine again,
or may shine.
Antonio Brown is back in the news, ladies and gentlemen. Somehow he's done it again. But this time it's not on his fault or his part.
Yeah.
This is on Russell Wilson.
Yeah, for sure. Wilson has definitely showed his interest in the Seattle Seahawks, signing Antonio Brown. And on Heavy.com, they reported that Wilson even is pushing the front office to sign Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
I think this would be great for Seattle. Pete Carroll has always been a guy who's been able to really contain some of these guys who have problems.
I mean, look at that Legion of Boom. Not saying they were the crazy rowdy group, but I mean, you had a bunch of different mixed personalities back there.
Oh, for sure.
So being able to control that is a key part of what Pete Carroll's able to do.
Yeah, and you've seen in the last year how like Earl Thomas, how his demeanor has changed.
Yeah.
I think he is, one of those guys who's gonna stir up trouble in the locker room. I think Pete Carroll's actually contained him for many years.
Yeah.
And I think he could do the same with Antonio Brown. Yeah. And not a lot of people know this, but one of Antonio Brown's greatest friends, Geno Smith, is actually on the roster.
Yep.
And I think it's always good for one of those head cases to always have their best buddy there,
for sure.
To keep him in place, make sure he doesn't get out of hand.
Yeah. Now what's interesting though about, they picked up Geno this year. They picked him, I think it was a 1 year deal. They picked him up for.
Yep.
The thing is, the Seahawks aren't necessarily low on receivers. They have DK Metcalf, their pick last year.
I love him.
Tyler Lockett, he's been there forever, it seems. And they just picked up Philip Dorsett as the free agent this year. So right away, they have 3 pretty decent receivers. So I'm interested to see if they go for Antonio Brown. I mean, unfortunately, as of right now, he is completely ineligible to play still because he has a trio of pending conduct policy investigations going on. So that will need to be cleared up before he's allowed to go back into the league. But I mean, you never know what can happen with that. Whether or not it's gonna get cleared before the season, based on what's going around in the lovely world around us. You don't know what they're gonna be able to get done. But I mean, if he is able to come back, obviously there's been some interest in him.
Yeah, for sure. My dad, he's a huge NFL guy, and he always told me this. Antonio Brown is a guy that's going to stir up trouble, but if you can contain him and have a quarterback, which if you really look at Ben Roethlisberger, he contained him for quite a few years. I mean, we didn't really see him start, emotionally breaking down until his last year in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And I think Wilson is actually a guy that is very down to earth. Is not too mouthy. Definitely someone who can contain his team. Just that big leader status. Yeah. So I think that would be a great thing. And my dad always told me someone's going to have to take a chance on Antonio Brown. He's really good. And he can change a team if he stays, if his upstairs is on point.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. You don't know. I mean, if he gets a shot, who knows what he becomes. He could be really great, but we don't know unless these investigations get lifted off him. So
a team has to be willing to, take him, but they also got to be willing, like the Patriots did, to let him go as soon as he acts out. And he's worth a risk, in my opinion. Antonio Brown, who's at full health, mental is pretty at a good state. Man, on Seattle, that is dangerous. Him, Metcalf, and Lockett. I mean, you got the deep threat and Metcalf. You got the middle type guy in Brown, and you got the little Tyler Lockett running all the slant routes.
That sounds like, to me, it sounds like throwing the ball on the goal line and throwing a pick to finish off the Super Bowl. That's what that sounds like to me.
Wow. That is all we got for you guys today. If you like this podcast, make sure you like and subscribe down below. Comment if you want to hear anything else from myself and Brady.
For sure.
We're always willing to hear your guys' ideas.